Good morning, everybody. I'm MillerBorn, practitioner today, and so we're going to start our service with a great song by Dalton. Go for it, Dalton.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Dalton.
What's the song?
This, all the decor in here has put me in mind of something. God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to lead us back to Spirit's light when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. From God our Heavenly Father, a blessed angel came, and unto certain shepherd brought tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Now to the Lord sing praises, all you within this place, and with true love and brotherhood each other now embrace. The holy time of Christmas is coming on apace. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Thank you, Dalton. So we're going to invite the children up, and while we're doing that, if you can turn and wave to the camera, but also wave to your neighbor and say hello. It's all about community. So we'll invite the children up.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Of course, they picked the hard seats to get out of in the back. So welcome again, and like to thank everybody in service today. We have the sound booth volunteers, Joey and Lindy. We have the kitchen cookies, Linda on the board desk, and then Doug and Ronnie, and then of course we have Dalton today. And we did want to let you know that Judy had a very successful surgery. She had a knee replacement, and she sends all her blessings to us for blessing her. So she's doing great. So thank you for the energy behind that. So if we have anybody new today, if they want to raise their hand, we can bring you a packet. Otherwise, you can pick one up on the way out. Anybody new? Well, also, and welcome, Fred. Glad to see you again. Not to point you out, but I love seeing you, so thank you for showing up. Yeah. Fred was a longtime member for many, many years. He was on the board, took care of the grounds, and worked on the building team, and just an incredible volunteer for this center for so long. And then he moved to Florida. So here he is, so thank you. So we have, and if you can silence your cell phone, we would appreciate that. So we have a few announcements. Actually, we have quite a few announcements today, so I'm going to run through them fairly quick. But in the beginning, we're going to have Reverend Kat come up with her ensemble and her troupe, and she's going to announce about a special event on New Year's Eve. So Reverend Kat.
So we do hope you'll join us on New Year's Eve, 5:30, for a fun Readers Theater event with the best parts of Twelfth Night. Nothing to memorize, nothing to study. We'll play different parts and different scenes with a few fun costumes. So just as a little teaser, as we did last week, and we'll have one more next week, we have with us this morning, Duke Orsino, who is in love with the beautiful Countess Olivia, who's not here right now. But with Duke Orsino is his new page, Cesario, who is really Viola, who has been washed ashore and needing a job and a place to be, has become Orsino's page. Orsino has no idea that Cesario, really Viola, is in love with him. Now, Shakespeare likes to play with the relationships between men and women, and he likes to speculate on how men and women really get along and what's really true about each. So this is just a little bit of one of those scenes.
Come hither, boy. If ever thou shalt love, in the sweet pangs of it remember me. For such as I am, all true lovers are. Unstayed and skittish in all motions else, save the constant image of the creature. That is beloved. How dost thou like this tune?
Ta-da-da-da-da! It gives a very echo to the seat where love is throned.
Thou dost speak masterly. My life upon it, young though thou art, thine eye hath stayed upon some favor that it loves. Hath it not, boy?
A little, by your favor.
What kind of woman is it?
Of your complexion.
Oh, she is not worth thee. Then what years, I faith?
About your years, my lord?
Too old. By heaven, let still the woman take an elder than herself. So wears she to him, so sways she in her husband's heart. For boy, however we do praise ourselves, our fancies are more giddy and unfirm, more longing, wavering, sooner lost and won than in woman's are.
I think it very well, my lord.
Then let thy love be younger than thyself. Or thy affection cannot hold the bent, for women are as roses, whose fair flower, being once displayed, doth fall that very hour.
And so they are, alas, that they are so, to die even when they do perfection grow.
Ta-da! So come and play with us on New Year's Eve, and I want to say that there are many streaming versions of Twelfth Night. I recommend them. There's one on Freevee. The subtitles are pretty terrible, but I think you might enjoy it anyway, and there are quite a few. So have fun with the play, one of Shakespeare's great romantic comedies.
I did want to announce that we were going to have a safety committee meeting today after service, but that's been postponed. And you'll hear about it later from Rich as to when we're going to reschedule that. The holiday gift baskets and holiday jewelry sale is still on. It's through Sunday, December 18th, so you can check it out in the foyer. Lots of good stuff. The teddy bears for Blue Santa today through December 18th, and you can see how many we have here. So these all go to the Reading Police Department, and they go out to children who need something to hug, and to feel cuddly with. And so it really serves a great purpose, and I know Dr. Mary's been a great champion of this. And I don't know when they come pick them up, but it's somewhere after the 18th, right? Yeah, probably the next day. Yeah. So next Sunday, when you're here, what we've done the last few years, everybody gets to grab a teddy bear and hold it, during the service and put some energy into it. Energy of love. And then we have an exploring membership meeting today with Dr. Mary at 11:15. So if you're interested in becoming a member, you can attend this short class, but it teaches you and tells you about things about science of mind, and you can ask questions of Dr. Mary. We have Sacred Sisters and Men's Group tomorrow night. We have You Better Watch Out. It's a Riverfront Playhouse buyout. We joined in with Unity to buy out the night, for the play. So that's Wednesday, December 14th. There's going to be hors d'oeuvres and then the play. And the tickets are with Linda in the back at the board desk. So we want to sell out. And so I'm not sure how many tickets we have left, but... About 7 or 8. Oh, well, we can do that today. We can buy that out. Okay? And then we are accepting new board member applications, and you can ask Linda about that and so forth. Just real quick, and this is all in your program as well, and in the awareness. Santa Claus is coming to the center on Sunday, December 18th. Boy, next Sunday is a big day. It's following the 10:30 service. And then there's an interfaith solstice holiday candle lighting service at Pilgrim. This is an ongoing service every year at Pilgrim. So Thursday, December 22nd at 6:30 p.m. And then we're going to have a Christmas Eve candle lighting service here on December 24th at 7 p.m. So it'll be about an hour. We'll have some beautiful music, some brief sharing, and some prayers. But it'll be a lovely service, and we really look forward to it. And then on the next day, on Christmas, it's just going to be a very brief service, kind of a meditation and some prayers, but very, very brief service. So people can stay home if they choose to do that. And then the office and bookstore is closed, obviously December 25th through January 1st. So now I'm going to invite Sue up. She has a special presentation. Reverend Sue, here she comes.
Good morning, everyone. Every now and again, we have a special announcement to make, and I was trying to encourage Mary to come up here because I really would like you to present it to him, because she really dedicates her time to help us create new members, people that have a longing to be a part of the greater community. And it's through her Essence classes that she dedicates herself to that we mention, and the membership classes. So she is going to introduce our new member.
Thanks. Doug, if you would come up, please.
Doug.
Doug Holt, yeah. Yeah, you. I didn't know this was going to happen so fast this morning, so usually I like to give new members our history book of how this all came about. And it's from like 1974 to 2010. Anyway, I wrote it when I was working in the office as a co-senior minister. Looked through every file folder in the attic and every little nook and cranny in here to find it. So I'll bring it to you next week. But I'd like to welcome you to the center and say you're so welcome. This guy is a volunteer extraordinaire, and you're now in the choir, right?
Yes, I'm in the
Yeah,
choir.
I think that's really
And
good.
do the men's group.
And do the men's
When I
group.
come.
And you said you want to help with Shoes for Souls.
Yeah, and I wanted to do the SIVA yesterday, but I think it was kind of raining. Did that get rained out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Anyway, thank you for joining, and we love having you.
Yes, and I look forward to working with the church.
All right.
Doing all
Thanks,
this.
Rick. Welcome.
So I'd like to invite Lori up to do the reading, and then we'll be inviting the bell, and then I'll do a prayer, and then we'll have our talk today by Reverend Sue, titled, I See You.
So today's reading is the song titled I See You from the movie Avatar. Songwriters James Horner, Simon Franklin, and Thaddeus Harrell. Walking through a dream, I see you, my light in darkness, breathing hope of new life. Now I live through you, and you through me, enchanting. I pray in my heart that this dream never ends. I see me through your eyes, breathing new life, flying high. Your love shines the way into paradise. So I offer my life as a sacrifice. I live through your love. You teach me how to see all that is beautiful. My senses touch your world, which I've never pictured. Now I give my hope to you. I surrender. I pray in my heart that this world never ends. I see me through your eyes, breathing new life, flying high. Your love shines the way into paradise. So I offer my life, I offer my love for you. When my heart was never open and my spirit never free, to the world that you have shown me, but my eyes could not envision all the colors of love and of life evermore. Evermore. I see me through your eyes. I see me through your eyes. Breathing new life, flying high. Your love shines the way into paradise. So I offer my life as a sacrifice. I live through your love. I see you.
please join with me in this knowing that we're always here with the one Spirit, the one love, the one God that's always present. And I know that this Spirit and this energy, this love flows through each and every one of us, completely manifested in the most beautiful but individual way. And so I know deep down that we are one. We are one with God, with Spirit, with love. And so today I open my heart, I open my mind, and I open my spirit up to the recognition of the one mind, the one love of Spirit. And so I know that by doing this and by anchoring into this knowing that I truly do see you, and I see myself, and I see God, I see Spirit everywhere present. So with love and grace, I allow myself to open up and to hear the words of Reverend Sue as she shares her teaching and her download of what Spirit has for her to share today with the congregation. And for all those who are listening, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook Live, anywhere out there, these words are meant for you. So today we give thanks, and we give thanks knowing that grace is at work, that love is at work. And we give thanks for this community and for the teaching and for everyone present and all those who support this community as we grow stronger and stronger and become that beacon of light that draws everyone into this community, knowing that we are here and that they see us and that we see them. So with love and respect, I release these words and this prayer into law, knowing full well it is so, and together we say, and so it is. Reverend Sue.
Thank you, Dalton. Dalton gets to be here 2 weeks. I think I'm just as excited about that as I am Christmas. One of my favorite people. Thank you, Lori. She probably already stepped back into her office. She has, she kind of watches our flow of Facebook Live, so we say hello to people as they check in. So I don't know if you knew that. But this, I don't need to say much more. How many saw the movie Avatar? Do you remember it? Yeah. And how striking that was, the moment, right? That they said, I see you, to one another. The love that just beamed through our hearts in that moment. So as we speak about everyday wonder as it relates to community and the idea, truly, the communities that we feel most of the affinity with are the ones that we feel seen, and that we also are taking the time to see others in that moment. So there was Stephen Hawking in the opening ceremonies for the Paralympic Games. He says this: we are all different. There's no such thing as a standard or run-of-the-mill human being, but we share the same human spirit. It's so settling to know the Olympics are one thing, and then when you watch the Paralympics, it's like the highlight to watch what we can do with this human spirit. So the message today, I just have to offer it back to you to question yourself. Are you the one separating yourself out? That can happen unintentionally sometimes, but we might come to a different place and kind of wear an outfit that helps us kind of get along or blend in, but kind of quiet ourselves. And so we're separating ourselves. Or we do it the other way around, and we walk in with a rather critical eye and start to separate the other people out. So we're encouraging in these Sunday talks together to poke always deeper, to come outside of the structure of how you have framed your way of being in the world, to come here at a Sunday and just say, where else can I grow? Where else can I show up and be the fullest soul spirit that I am? And as you poke in deeper, you're going to discover always, it never fails, that all you're doing is falling deeper and deeper into spirit itself. So I was made aware, just the smallest way this week, things can just kind of go, oh yeah, of course, that's that way. Huh, go figure. And this was the word community, just the word, the community. And somebody had taken the word apart and said, common unity, community, common unity. And I was going, I never saw that before. Yeah. Do you ever do that? Somebody else suddenly, now that's all I see. We're in common unity together. I just hope you can hear me without my little lisp and ruining that word, but common unity, and just realize that's what is the base of being together. So look in your own world to see, well, where else have I put a limitation on an idea and then just held on to that one idea, that one limitation of what something can mean for the rest of my life. There's always ways to drop what we have known, what we feel pretty sure about, but is there more? There's always more. There's always more. Just as we're seeing in the telescope out in space, there's so much more. We thought we knew, but now there's so much more. And so it's exciting to keep that inquisitive nature of our soul spirit alive. And last week I described how they shaped what a community is that invisible membrane that we all live inside. And so you want to see, what kind of boundaries do I put on my community? So when you hear or vision about community, just ask yourself, have I limited that invisible bubble? Have I put a certain restrictions upon it, that if somebody looks a little bit different, am I inviting them in, or am I separating myself out? Am I allowing for connection? And you can get a feeling for that if you're challenged by being the new one in a club. If you're the new one in the club, how do you feel? And I always like to explore those moments, because I think they can go by so quickly. We're so aware as we're focused on what is my issue here, what's my problem here, and then there's all sorts of stuff going on at the same time. And when we peek out all around and we realize the divine is having messages for us. Yesterday we had a sweet little workshop together on the tapping solution for the freedom technique, where you go through your body and you're tapping different meridians for release. And then we walked out and offered what we were letting go into the fire pit. But at the same time, as we held hands in the circle, and it was just this real quiet, spiritual, private moment, the birds were singing, and it was raining, but they were singing so loud. And it's like, look at the celebration, like nature saying, hallelujah, hallelujah, you're set free. Always there's something more in our world to see. And the idea that we're looking, knowing that we're a part of something, and that greater idea is always informing us and welcoming us. That idea that we are always held in that love and in that protection of something greater. So be aware when you're walking in, are you feeling whole and complete? Or are you aware of a sense still nagging at you of isolation and separation? leaving you there, picking up some strands of insecurity and not quite feeling connected. Always a mirror, always a mirror, always the soul saying, come forth. The idea, one of my favorite realizations were all of these senses of feeling separate just dropped away mystically and magically. I've mentioned this before in talks, but I thought about it again yesterday when I was thinking of all of you. It was the moment that Charlie and I were down in the Sacramento, the Capitol, on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And so you can imagine the sea of people, the sea of color. And we felt very white, Charlie and I, in the midst of the sea of diversity, but it didn't make you feel that way because the sea welcomed you in. It just surrounded you into a sense of oneness with everyone else that was there. And we stood there spellbound, squished together, listening to the stage of somebody speak the famous talk, I Have a Dream, and very moving. And then you felt arms just come around you, anybody's arms, as they sang the songs. And tears flowing, embraces hugging, sincerity flowing, oneness being. And there, it just, to me, I stood there thinking, I can't believe I am fortunate enough to have come down here on this day, in this moment of time, and felt this idea of belonging to that field of love. Here it is, what Rumi always points to, and it's one of my favorite quotes, and you hear it a lot. Let's go to that field, right? Beyond right and wrong. Let's meet there. Let's go there. That's what the invitation is. So you break it down, and we start to realize that what's before us is the opportunity to say to one another, I see you. I see you. And it becomes that call. Whoever's before you, I see you. And I see you not in a way like, oh, nice clothes. Oh, thank you. They're Nancy's. You know, it's beyond all of that, even though that's meaningful and engages us with one another. But somebody says, I see you. And when they say it with that tone of depth, you realize, I'm really being seen here. I'm seen with eyes of love. It breaks down diversity, and you start to see the tapestry of the common thread. I see you, and I see me through your eyes. Truly seeing each other as spiritual beings opens up our hearts to each other in a very important way, because there's a positive soul essence that is always shining through before we let our mind start to judge or critique any quirkiness that we might see or judgments that might pop up on the person that is before us. So then we're separating ourselves instead of moving forward to a kinship or a friendship. I see you. I see you. On a deep level, I see you. Not just physically, but deeper. Deeper, I see you. I see you spiritually. I see your essence and I see your goodness. I see you and understand how connected we are. There was a writing from a Nicky Notzi that he said, this is how gentle it and how quickly we can be informed on this. He was sitting on a train. He said, described it as talking Spanglish to an American guy visiting from Colombia. I met him at 5 Rhythms dance class. After telling me about his interesting life, he commented on my presence in the class. And he said, while everyone was dancing around all crazy, you were moving to your own beat. Yeah, being seen, being valued. And aren't we all trying to discover the beat that reveals who we are at our core, not trying to act like anybody else, but to be free and to be seen exactly who we are? So this phrase, as I said, being used in the movie of the Avatar, I see you, was used as the greeting at Pandora. And seeing the goodness was what they were realizing in each other. They realized the goodness inside their soul and how connected they were. Now, there was a blog that I'm going to share some of her wisdoms here that she came, because her heartwarming message, and it all comes from her watching the Avatar movie herself, the James Cameron movie. And so from Wikipedia, the I see you, they describe it as the greeting in the Na'vi language. And so I'm going to butcher the language because I'm not from there. But you don't know. You don't know what my words say here, so I can do whatever I want. Oli nagate kami, a neutral greeting for Oli nagate kami, to express a positive feeling about meeting someone. Furthermore, the Na'vi had two versions of the verb to see. To say, which means physical vision, kami, which means to see in a spiritual sense, a synonym of understand or comprehend. I understand, I see you, I comprehend you. And so she had this insight. Think back on your childhood when she shares this. When we were younger, our eyes and our hearts were functioning fairly well. Childhood is a time when making a friend is as simple as, do you want to play with me? Yeah, the innocence. Do you want to play with me? No. Find somebody else. Or usually it was, yeah, what do you want to play? And then magic happened. Imaginations just burst forth. So she says, childhood is a time when your heart was so open, you put your fear of rejection aside and say, I see you. Do you see me? Do you want to play with me? More often, the answer was yes. So then she fast forward to being 40, and she was saying, you know, she remembered that moment, and there was somebody that she felt like she really wanted to develop that friendship with. And so she said, do you want to play with me? It went right back there, do you want to play with me? Now, Lindy and I sometimes will say, oh, I have a girlfriend crush on that person. You know what that means? You just feel like, oh, I like that person so much, I want to be their friend. Girlfriend crush. Or a boyfriend crush in a different way. But this idea is that we meet people, that we feel like we want to get in closer. We want to lean in closer. And she said they did develop a very powerful friendship, and it was all stemmed from I see you. And she reminds us it can be easier said than done. She said friendships developed up until then when she had graduated from college and everything, and then 20 years could go by and you wouldn't see the person, but those are the kind of friendships that just picked right up, just right away. You just know each other once you see them. And they're special because they developed when our vision was clear and our hearts were open. I see you, and I remember you. Important. And then as we become more framed in our adulthood, we might continue to make friends, but the vision becomes a little more blurry. We become a little more critical, a little more needy. And so it can get jaded at times. And when the vision gets so bad that we become blind to one another, we're not even able to see how our behavior is affecting each other. So you see how important it is to open your eyes and to open your heart, because that blindness affects us in such a negative way. So finally, she's closing this idea with, when we have that ability to see, think about the people in your life and take a real deep breath into seeing all of them. Feel the range of what I talk about, the more intimate, the more distant, the more longing for a friend, the friend that hurt you unintentionally. See through all of that with different eyes, because the gifts of friendship are worth it. She referred to other cultures as well, and she described, and I thought, I just kept sitting with this thought and thinking of all of you yesterday. One by one, the different faces that would come up into my mind and heart, the tribe would greet each other by stopping and looking at each other and holding the gaze for 20 seconds. No words said. That could be awkward. You know, hi, I want you to meet George. Can be awkward, right? But the idea behind it, if we weren't so conditioned to feel awkward, it would be quite pleasurable. Can you imagine knowing somebody? Okay, so I'm staring at George, and then maybe the first thing he utters out is a real high, pitchy, squeaky, annoying voice. And I might go, oh, I had no idea. And then that could reframe everything. But the idea of just knowing somebody's warmth, somebody's eyes. We did this at a retreat once, totally awkward. Everybody hated it. But I loved it because I brought it there. And it was because I was reading about Rumi and how Rumi and Shams became best friends. So devoted to each other, such spiritual companions that the other disciples of Rumi got very jealous, in fact, let's put it my way. What's going on? Because they would go behind closed doors. All they did behind those closed doors was sit and stare at one another deeply, eyes wide open. So we tried that with each other. Oh, squirm butts. You would just see them all going, okay, did we do it long enough? That's like 5 seconds. No, a little longer. Let's try for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. But the people that were able to stay there, what happens is the veil drops and you enter into a field of mystical magic. And you start to see that other person, perhaps, who knows, in another life, their face changes. You just keep looking into the eyes. And the whole experience changes. You start to see all of the aspects of this human being that's before you. You knew them as this person, this personality. Suddenly, that is gone. And God shows through. The soul shows through those eyes. It's an amazing experience. It's the same thing when you're invited to go stand in front of the mirror. That's your homework this week. And say, oh, I love you, I see you. With your glasses on, if you have blurry vision, it's easier to do with me for now, because I can't see a darn thing without my glasses. So put glasses on and see yourself long enough to see your truth, to say, I see you. Don't walk away from the mirror until you've had that moment where the magic happens and you say, I see myself. We're all connected, and I see you. And breaking it down into I see spirit now everywhere and everyone I meet. So CSL is inviting us to really look deeply into this part of being in community. It's very vital in creating community. When we see people in our community as outside or we fail to see them at all, we are limiting this possibility of a greater whole, a greater wholeness. Whatever perceived difference, mark it as a value and make a genuine connection with all people. Science of Mind calls for us to recognize wholeness, the perfect awareness that spirit expresses itself through all. Look and see. It's always there. It is in humanity. Look deeper, beyond the stories. So when we make a choice to move towards a spiritual community, I wanted to share a couple of frameworks for that, because in the Eastern tradition, and you've heard this word, Sangha, that means spiritual community, and the Heart Sangha choir, very beautiful title for that choir. They come together with a common longing to sing, but it's also with great respect and love for one another, the Heart Sangha choir. And people are dedicated when they're in a Sangha to create a space that nurtures spiritual growth, encourages spiritual practices like mindfulness, meditation, affirmative prayer. The lifestyle in a Sangha is reverent and respected. Everyone feels safe, everyone feels accepted. And when you are an awakened individual in that space, you realize that in those moments, you belong. You are seen, and you practice and you walk your talk. Very important. You live in your spiritual principles. You become an individualized expression of this divinity, and you start functioning on that in every respect. So you're not a phony one at all. You start to really live your truth. And what is at the heart of that is seva, which is selfless service to the divine, to each other, to the soul in each other. That is the heart of Sangha. Now, Jack Hornfield shares the story of an old Hasidic rabbi who asked his pupils how they could tell when night had ended and day had begun, for that is the time for certain holy prayers. Is it proposed, one person remarks, when you see an animal in the distance and you can tell whether it's a sheep or a dog? Is that the answer? Nope, said the rabbi. Okay, then is it when you clearly see the lines on your own palm? No. Okay, is it when you see a tree in the distance and you can tell if it's a fig or a pear tree? That's got to be it. No. No. The rabbi kept replying. Then what is it? They finally, asked in his aspiration. It's when you can look at the face of any man or woman and see that they are your sister or brother. Until then, it is night. Spiritual. Let us see that in one another so that we can be illuminated and wake up in our lifetime. Now, another favorite source that I go to is Spirituality and Health, and my favorite writer in there is Rabbi Rami Shapiro. And he was asked this question after many years of living in a solitary retreat. Now he's drawn to communal worship. And he asked the rabbi, is this of any value? His response, at its best, a worship community offers you a safe and supportive environment for awakening to the greater aliveness of which all life is a part, and a company of friends united in service to the well-being of others. If your worship community provides these things, consider yourself blessed. You have found home. Such a powerful testimony. The mystical truth, the cycle of our spiritual journey, always encouraging us always to return to community, to bring your gifts of insight, illumination to the world. And that is what is key to bringing back that idea of who you are to the spiritual friendship. Remembering, I see you, and it's so important that you see me, and I can see myself through your eyes. We need each other's eyes and hearts and hands and ears for this level of companionship. So Jack Cornfield, his beauty here, he describes that when he was a Lama, described the practice of community. He said this, in a 3-year retreat, we were thrown together in a tiny retreat compound. Now, is this always easy? It's kind of happy and okay the first week, and then it starts to get real. So that they had 15 of us, as if we were married and we were dropped into a war zone. It became intense, living closely with others, rounds off your rough edges. You can't fool yourself, because others see you more clearly than you're allowed yourself to ever see you. It was a very bonding time. In a way, living collectively was as valuable as all of the other meditations. It brought alive the teachings of compassion moment by moment. Now we Now my main practice has become communion, to recognize the living spirit in everyone, in everything, not just in peaceful people. If you look in anybody's eyes, the light is shining. Also, in every animal, the light is shining. Every leaf, every flower, every dewdrop, every clod of earth. People are no more enlightened in the monasteries than out in the world. It's the same everywhere. So if that was on your bucket list to go live in a monastery, check it off. Check it off. Spirituality is not about the mountaintops. It is about seeing the sacred right here, right now, celebrating and affirming perfection just now, right now. Even our enemies will show us how to awaken if we can recognize the truth. He has many more sharings, and I will relate to those in another message because our time is drawing to a close. But the idea also is to see, the namaste is to see the divinity in one another. But it's also, you can say, I see the Buddha in you. I see Allah in you. I see Jesus in you. I see the Christ in you. As we allow ourselves to go to the source, to allow a deeper sense of curiosity, to urge us forward into relationships. And the idea, let it get a little uncomfortable. This is breaking the habit of being yourself. When you break out of that sense of what you've put upon yourself to keep yourself separate, you begin to shape the meaningful conversations by simply looking at each other and smiling. So I see you here. With each person that you meet this week, whether you say it out loud or whether it's just in passing in the store, or the clerk, the waitress, whatever you're so conditioned and familiar with that you forgot to live your life in that moment. Greet each other with that sense, I see you. The global vision for CSL, we envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life, a world where the kinship with all life prospers, connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom. We envision a world where every person has enough food, a home, a sense of belonging, a world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement and justice. So every culture has its way with this. Every culture has its wisdom. And I take you to a story because there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. So you might have read this story. You can go ahead and start playing, Dalton. Think about this. Take your heart here. Listen to this with the heart. You might have heard it before, but hear it again. A Ukrainian man hiding in Mariupol bomb shelter spotted a car with keys in the ignition. He gathered his family in the car and drove to the relatively safer town further down. While driving, he found a phone number in the glove compartment. So he called the car's owner. I'm so sorry I stole your car. I'm saving my family. The man on the other end of the call said, thank God, don't worry. I have 4 cars. I took my family out in the SUV. I refueled all my other cars and left them in different places with the keys in and the phone number in the glove compartment. From all 4 cars, I have received a call back. Once there's peace, I hope we'll see each other again. Stay safe. Gives me chills. Humanity at its best. So as we leave here today, take a moment, not in that awkward 20-second pause. Take a moment to really see each other. Take a moment. See how it changes you. I see a lot of you week after week, and some of you, I can't remember your name. I pretend it was because I had COVID, but I think I've always had trouble remembering names. But I know your heart, I know your presence, I know your light, and so I welcome you here. So you feel that? I see you. I see myself through you. Can you see yourself through me? Close your eyes now. Close your eyes now and notice the heart feels wide open to love. If I ask that question, if I can see myself in the heart and the eyes of another, I am then most worthy. And my eyes and my heart stay open to the divine eye looking back at me, encouraging me in my soul level of knowing, in that intuitive grace that only I can hear, that only I can feel, that divinity, that call, that longing for the divine to know me and to allow me to know myself through that vast love. It's always, always been there. You remember it. Close your eyes and remind yourself, if you ever saw a photo of yourself as a wee baby, just the infant stage, and the eyes were open, look into those eyes and remember you are that. You are that innocence. You are that expression of pure love looking back at you. It has gone nowhere. It has only blossomed in its own way through your efforts, through your life's work. It still shines brightly. So thank you, God, for a place, a community of common unity, that I feel blessed to have crossed the threshold and walked my life's path with so many that have walked with me. We're in this together, and together we shine brighter as we look out into our community at large and we see. Thank you, God. I can feel it. Something's happening here. I can feel it. Let it be so, and so it is. Thank you. Carry on. Thank you. I see you. Thank you.
In keeping with that, I've had an idea. I would like anyone who's comfortable to find a buddy to just sing this to. If you don't know the song, it's only about 4 lines long. You'll soon pick it up. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. That's how it goes. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. A field of love, a field of forgiveness, a peace that passeth understanding. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Let me hear you sing now. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. A field of love, a field of forgiveness, a peace that passeth understanding. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Once more. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. A field of love, a field of forgiveness, a peace which passeth understanding. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. There's a field. I'll meet you there.
Thank you, Dalton. You just picked the perfect song for that talk. So I'd like to invite the ushers forward. I think I'll be looking at you later. We have to do a half hour. So as we prepare for the offering, I prepare to give my offering. My heart is filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for my spiritual well-being. I am filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance, for as I give, I receive.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
I am so blessed, and the center is so blessed. So giving thanks for all that has been given, whether it be through your money or your time or your heart space towards this center, we know that it's put to use in the most loving, careful way to allow the center to grow and to maintain itself and to reach out into the community. For we know as we give, it does always come back and serve you in a very blessed way. So in the circle and in the energy flow of financial good and of one's heart and of one's time, we give great thanks for today and for your gifts. So I release these words into law, and together we say, and so it is. So we have a closing song by Dalton, and then Reverend Sue will come up and bless you on your way. But remember the social hall, and we have the foyer and all the goodies out there to purchase for Christmas. So just remember all that. Oh yeah, and Mary's membership class in the boardroom in the office. So you'll find that. That's at 11:30? 11:15. 11:15, okay. Okay, Dalton.
If you are comfortable standing, please do. The sun is peeping through the clouds outside. There was a time in my life I thought I'd have to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, well, you got to let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. Sing along with me now. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. Well, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. My heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. Well, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. Well, no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. Said I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. One more. That I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for what now? God. Yeah.
Woohoo! Let's hear a woohoo! Woohoo! That's our man. Thank you. Thank you. You brought us to life. Now we can go eat. Eat and see. And thank you everyone for being here and enjoy. This will be the last, we have one more week to do the raffles, but I think we're going to pick the names next Sunday so you don't have to sit on pins and needles wondering if you won or not. I know I'm eager. So have a beautiful, fantastic day. And Mary wanted to know if you want to join her in that meeting to pick up your plate of food and join her in the office. She's welcoming you there. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Oh, next week is Reverend Andy Torkelson. So please come join us and hear the message and the next scene of the play.